Hello, welcome to another episode of Conversations with Cleopatra. I am Lamarr Townsend. I'm a psychic and energy channeler, a tarot reader, an astrologer, and I would love to do a personal reading for you if you would like a personal reading. I do past life readings, psychic tarot readings, I also do birth chart readings, I do candles, I do so much more. So check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com, if you would be interested in a personal reading for me. I am available for readings. All you have to do is purchase your reading from my website. I'll get an email and you just read the directions on my website and you'll get your reading within 1 to 3 days or less, depending on how busy I am. Usually it's no longer than 1 to 3 days. Also, make sure you follow me on my social media pages, my Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, Spotify, my podcast on also Spotify, Apple, Google, and Breaker, and other platforms. Also, my Vimeo, Lamarr Townsend Tarot. There's a scam going on currently where someone's trying to steal my likeness on Instagram, so be mindful. I only have one account on each of my social media pages or social media platforms. So at Lamarr Townsend Tarot, no spaces, no dots in between. Let's go ahead and get right into it. I do want to have a conversation with Cleopatra today about medicine, ancient Egyptian medicine, all right, and traditional medicine practices, maybe healing practices and things like that in ancient Egypt, back in the ancient Egyptian days. If you would like to see part 2 where the more juicy bits will be, the more juicy, hearty information will be, check out part 2 on my Vimeo channel, vimeo.com/Lamarr Townsend Tarot. The link will be in the description box below or the comment section below, or just become a member, join, and become a member of my YouTube channel by clicking the join button on your phone. I believe if you have Android or if you are, of course, on a laptop or a computer, it should be next to the subscribe button on my YouTube channel. Subscribe if you're new, by the way. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it and see what we have going on. Of course, we're going to invite Queen Cleopatra in, say a quick prayer, and bring forth the energies and see what Queen Cleopatra has to say about medicine and how maybe, I don't know, it compares to our today's time, especially with us just now getting over, the COVID. Thank you for cleansing and clearing the energy of the space from any past readings. Thank you for opening up the channel so that I can get a good conversation with Cleopatra. Thank you for making this space a sacred space so that Queen Cleopatra can come through and share her knowledge, her wealth, her information with us. Thank you in the name of Jesus for protecting the energies, thoughts, minds, and emotions of those watching this video, as well as my energy, my thoughts, my mind, and my emotions, as well as the energies, thoughts, minds, and emotions of Cleopatra. Amen, amen, amen. I should probably put out the sage. Okay. Queen Cleopatra, we invite you to come through and share your knowledge and wealth of information with us about, as well as your magical expertise about medicine, in ancient Egyptian medicine. The first thing she's showing me is papayas. She's saying papaya juice. Papayas are very, very healthy and nutritious. She's saying papaya is a fruit that can actually prevent disease or that can prevent illness, she's saying. She's actually saying she's saying that a lot of people are kind of unaware of the nutritious health benefits of orange fruits and vegetables specifically, she's saying, such as squash, which I think comes in an orange variety. She's saying pumpkin. She's saying cantaloupe. There's a lot of oranges. She's saying citrus. She's saying there's a lot of health benefits to orange fruits and vegetables. She's saying they're high in vitamin C typically. And she's saying, colors are so significant, she's saying. Not only is the color spectrum important, she looks at the camera, in terms of magic, she's saying, and in terms of invoking a certain essence or energy. She's saying colors are also a way that the universe and that the magical essence of the world you live in and we live in, she says, speaks to us. So she's saying orange is the color of a vibration, sunniness, and it's similar to yellow. She says it's also connected to the solar plexus, I believe, chakra. She's saying, or the orange chakra. Um, she's saying it clears out emotions, it clears out mucus, it clears out a lot of debris, it washes out what's not necessary for the body in terms of liquids, in terms of enzymes, in terms of, cells. It helps with that process in eliminating those things, those toxins, and it brings in the new. She's saying that's pretty much what vitamin C does. So she's saying, back in ancient times, we drink a lot of elixirs. We drink a lot of. She's kind of going like this. In today's time, she's saying, we drink a lot of what you would say smoothies or fresh pressed juice drinks. She's saying, at least the wealthy did. She says. In terms of the elite, she says, this is what we drink. This is what we were used to. She's showing me grapes, lots of drinks, I guess, or beverages with a grape base. She's saying because they were just so easy to squash, and she's saying, of course, I was Greek. So she's saying things on the vine. She's saying tomato juices is another thing that we would eat, drink. So she's saying, if you want to be healthy, if you want, the best medicine, it's in what you drink, your diet, of course, but specifically what you drink, because she's saying it's actually the consistency of the liquid, or it's the consistency of the fresh pressed vegetables and fruits that makes it easier for your body to digest what is necessary to fight off colds and illnesses and bacteria and diseases, and to be more immune, she says. She's kind of going back to color. She's showing me color again, and she's saying, pay attention, like, for example, to the mucus and, like, the color, or she's saying kind of like, and she's going like this, she's so funny. She's going like this, the stool that comes out of you, like, what color is it? She's saying. Um, she's saying typically, and she's saying, sorry to be so crass. She looks at the camera, this is medicine. This is, what you would talk about if you were to go to a, in today's times, a doctor's office, right? She's saying, typically, if you eat a lot of starches, she's saying, and not enough watery foods, or foods high in water or fiber, things that get the, once again, and she goes back to the smoothie, the consistency of the smoothie, the watery texture, the smooth texture of all of the blended herbs and, spices, I guess, and different fruits and vegetables and things like that. She's saying it makes it easier for, the nutritional value, or, the necessary components of those fruits, vegetables, spices, and herbs to go where they need to go in the body, versus, if you were just to kind of, I guess she's saying, eat literally raw, or, cooked, semi-cooked, vegetables like broccoli, or kale, or cucumber, she's saying, rather than actually blend these things, blend these herbs together. She's saying now, she's kind of going like, now I know you're wondering how we blended them in our time versus your time. She's saying we had very kind of scientific ways of blending it in a way where it got a more watery consistency, but of course we just crushed a lot of, things. But of course, that caused sometimes, depending on what source of, thing you used to crush it in, would cause water loss, which you didn't want. You wanted the water, so you would crush it in maybe something metal or tin. So the metal or tin or something like that wouldn't soak up the water, she's saying. But you, of course, you would want to make sure. She's kind of looking at me side eye and being like, you want to make sure the water or tin is non porous, number one, and is non toxic, she's saying. So she's saying this wouldn't be something good to do with like um, ceramic, perhaps, or wood. She's saying, unless it's a very smooth ceramic that's non-porous. Um, she goes back to the stool. She's saying, oftentimes, stool that is very brown or, very brown, hard to pass, she's saying, it means you have too much starch. And she's saying, think of starch as something that soaks up the moisture in the body. You want foods that aid in giving the body moisture. She's saying, because she kind of goes like this, and she says the body is made up of about 70, almost 70 to 80% moisture. At times, or most of the times. Or she's saying maybe 60 or 70%. She's saying I'm not sure. She's saying, I'm just gonna look at the camera going, I'm not a scientist, but it's made of more moisture than you would think the body. She says, so it's like that's also how the earth is. The earth is made up of more moisture than we would think. So she's saying people don't take into account what you drink. It's like you all pay a lot of attention to what you eat, but not enough of what you drink, and that's where you lose. She's kind of saying the race of staying in shape and being in shape. It's like, yeah, you can be healthy and be a vegan, but if you're drinking a bunch of sodas, diet cokes, and beers and things like that, she's kind of going like, which we love, by the way, in ancient Egypt. We love beer. She's saying, I love beer, by the way. And she's kind of going like, I get it, but counteract it with healthier liquids. Counteract it with healthier. She's saying lipids. Interesting. So you're saying when you say that, Cleopatra, you're making me think lipids, almost like a liquid can be a meal, like a soup. And she kind of shakes her head. She's like, yeah, yes, exactly. You can also eat your calories in terms of soup, but in the liquid form, she's saying. Liquids are a medicine, she says. Every time Cleopatra talks, my mind is blown, I swear. But you know what? I would have never just thought liquids in general. But she's saying, of course, what you infuse into the liquids, she's saying like teas, and she kind of points to me because she's big on me drinking tea. Now I understand why you want me to drink tea. She's saying, also, the temperature, the consistency of the liquid, broth, like, warm or hot broth, you know, um, also gets soaked into the body a bit easier, she's saying. Rather than something very cold or, um, once again, thin, thicker consistency of liquid is going to take a little bit longer to digest than something a little bit thinner, she's saying. She's saying, but a liquid can be a meal all in itself. That's what soup is, she's saying. Interesting. And she's saying starches soak up the liquid. That's why people, say, the old adage, she's saying, is, soup and crackers when you're sick, because the cracker soaks up the excess soup, the excess water. She's saying now the specific herbs I recommend. She's saying she's kind of going some that you can grow at home, some you can find in organic stores. Um, she's saying I'm gonna mention those in part two. She's saying there's certain ways you can also kind of dress your home to ward illness away, or to soak up the energy of illness, or to soak up the allergens of illness, she says. But once again, part two, she says, But she's saying the biggest thing is liquids. She's also saying pay attention to the quality of the water at your home, the liquid in your home. She's saying, well, some of you are bathing in water that's making you sick. Little do you know. She's saying she believes in the power of water filters. She's saying back in ancient times we had to filter the water. How do you think we were able to drink water, she says? We couldn't just technically drink it from the Nile, she says. Maybe at times we could, because even she's saying even the Nile water was filtered back then to some degree. Interesting. Irrigation, she says, irrigation systems. She's saying, but we filtered our water back in ancient times. She's kind of showing me we knew the water was healthy based on something about the fishes, the way the fishes swam. If they swim very fast or and she's kind of literally showing me like a chalice and like a little fish in the water, and she's kind of looking at the fish, and based on how fast the fish is swimming, I guess, or smoothly, it's swimming, it denotes the cleanliness of the water. I guess the more clean the water is, literally the more fast and smoothly a fish is able. And she's saying it's a specific type of fish too. I don't know. She's saying seawater fish. I don't know what that means, but she's saying it just denotes a healthy water. Something like that. Or she's saying this is how we were able to tell if water was healthy. Poison, she's saying, in ancient times. She's saying, this is interesting, she's saying it wasn't uncommon for someone to, people to drink a water with a fish in it, just a live fish in it. She's literally showing me, I guess, dropping a fish in water was a way to denote if the water was A, clean, or 2, poisoned. Excuse me, my nose is stopped up, but she's saying a specific kind of fish, though. Interesting. But she's kind of saying, even back then we needed water to survive. So it's we couldn't have survived in ancient times without clean water ourselves. So she's saying, how do you think we got that water cleaned? She's showing me something about rocks being a part of the irrigation system. Runoff water. Almost like the debris getting stuck in this kind of almost step-like creation they've created with rocks, but the runoff water is just the clean water, I guess, and it gets filtered into the Nile River, or at least this is how they did it in ancient times, she's saying once again. She's saying this is what made things difficult when, the Nile would flood or things would overflood. She's saying this is why ancient Egypt was centered around water, the Nile River. She's saying, we saw water as sacred. Water was blessed. Water gave life, and it took it away. So she's saying, she's kind of shrugging, and she's saying, what else do you want me to say? She's like, to us, water was medicine. She's saying. Liquid was medicine, she's saying. Wow. My mind's blown. As usual, Cleopatra, my mind is blown. Let's go ahead and get into part 2. Is there any lasting words you want to say? She's saying in part 2, we're going to focus more on ways to just prevent illness from even coming towards you. She's kind of looking at me and saying because illness is an energy, illness is a disease. Illness can be more easily attracted to you based on certain alignment of your own chakras or misalignment, she says. So she's saying we're going to get into that in part 2 and some other things, she kind of says and smirks. So thank you for listening and watching. I hope I was able to give you some clarity and insight into ancient Egyptian medicine. All right. If you would like to elaborate, definitely check out part 2. and Conversations with Cleopatra about medicine, ancient Egyptian medicine, and healing practices. Thank you for listening and watching. I'll see you all in part 2. Remember, if you would like a personal reading, because I am available for personal readings, check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. All right? I would love to read for you. Just purchase your reading, and we will get it done within 1 to 3 days or sooner. Thank you, Cleopatra, for coming through. I appreciate you so much, Queen, and I'm excited to get into part 2. See you there.